5 years or 8 years ago, I'd probably say expensive wedding, at all costs. But now it's whatever you can afford because you will be the one to pay that debt.
Yeah.
Yeah, like come rain, come shine. It's your bank account.
Now you go
that's
pay 'em.
paid. Now you go pay that debt.
Now you go chest up.
Yeah, I would advise against it. Don't get into debt to
Fund your wedding.
to finance a wedding.
Yeah.
But then, have you been to Yoruba weddings?
I was going to ask you, man, when are you taking me to? And I want to go to a Nigerian wedding.
We've talked about this now. Next year,
Okay.
guaranteed.
All right. Hi guys, and welcome once more to another episode of Reality on Repeat. My name is Bertain and I'm your host. We are back again with another episode.
Hi guys, Dylan again. So yeah, another banger for today. So
Another banger. Okay, Rema. Another banger.
I'm trying to get into music now, bro.
I know. Once more, thank you guys once more for tuning in. We missed you guys last week. Little update. Most of our episodes henceforth are gonna be bi-weekly, but stay tuned with us and continue to support, share, tune in. And I'm gonna go ahead and introduce our guest. We're back with our guest for today. And today in the studio we have a smart person. He's very smart. If you can hear him talking already, you just know where he's from. He's from Nigeria.
My name is Oluwatimilehin. Oluwatimilehin. Don't call me. My name is Oluwatimilehin. Thank you for having me. It's a privilege to be here.
Welcome.
I've been looking forward to this.
Yeah. I know it's been a while. Like we've been talking about coming on, and finally you're here. We're happy to have you on today.
Thank you. This is my first time in a situation like this. I'm a camera shy person.
The pressure is getting worse.
Yeah, the picture. But it's okay.
All right. Okay. Well, we're gonna go ahead and start with We're back with our icebreakers. Get everyone comfortable. And I have some questions today. Let's see how that goes. Okay, so first we're gonna start with a would you rather.
Okay.
Yes, so my first one is would you rather lose your ability to lie or believe everything you're told?
I'd rather lose the ability to believe everything that I'm told. I think everybody lies at some point. We all do, like even in our everyday lives. So, I want to, and sometimes a lie is it's the best thing to tell people sometimes. Sometimes people don't want to hear the truth, or sometimes a lie is better to say in some situations. So, lose my ability to believe the truth.
What about you, Dylan?
Well, it will be the second one.
So you'd rather lose the ability to believe everything you're told?
That one, because like you said,
so you'd rather believe everything you're told, even if it's a lie?
I'd rather believe that.
Yeah.
I don't know. This one is a tough one for me. This one is a tough one for me, but yeah, I just think some situations you can't really tell everybody like the truth. So I'd rather lose my ability I'd rather believe everything I'm told as well. I think I'm with you guys on that one.
Mm-hmm.
But that is a tough one.
Because
someone will look at you dead in your face and they're lying to you, and you believe it.
Yep.
Definitely. Well, you have peace of mind, but
I mean, if you look at the flip side, you are on the receiving end, and what they are doing is what you just talked about. Like they are lying to you. So that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so next one, right? Would you rather live a long life that's boring or a short life that's full of adventure?
Okay, I don't know. That can be put into perspective. but I would rather live a long life that's boring. And when I say that, um, most things in life are typically boring because of the repetitiveness of things. Like our everyday lives are repetitive. You wake up in the morning,
Yeah.
you do the same thing, you go to work, come back, and it's the
True.
same thing every day.
True.
You may have some fun here and there. You're a single person, but if you're responsible for multiple people, say you have kids and you have
Yeah.
a family, it's boring. 80% of the time, you do the
Life is
same
boring.
thing every day, and it's the boredom that I don't know. The boredom is the happiness of it, as far as I'm concerned. And that's subjective to me.
I,
So I'll choose boring over short.
what do you think?
Um, I do believe that life is a very beautiful gift. So I would definitely choose the a long life, even though it ends up being boring
Mhm.
or boring experiences. Um, Life in itself is just beauty. There's just something magical about being alive. About the
Absolutely.
fact
Waking
that
up every day.
yeah, about the
Yeah.
fact that for generations upon generations, um, everything was just made right so
Yeah.
that you can be here right now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Everything
Absolutely.
everything just aligned in your favor. Even when it came to the level of your conception, like it's a thousand or it's a million of you trying to fertilize one egg, and yet again you succeeded
You
in
succeeded.
fertilizing
You
that
were
egg.
you were
Absolutely.
the
You
Yeah,
chosen
did.
you
one.
were the
Yeah.
chosen one.
That's it. Uh-huh.
So
You were the chosen
It's a
one.
blessing. It
it's a
is.
beautiful thing
I
to
agree. I
just be
agree.
alive.
I agree. I'll take the boring life. I mean, it also depends on how short the life is definitely gonna be.
To be very fair, right? The adventures are good,
Yeah.
right? The adventures they
Cause
are great. It's like you will probably ask someone that, well, will you choose being a rich man for a short period of time, or
or being
have
a
a
poor
life,
man.
or have a longer life, and whereas you are a poor man.
Or
Yeah.
maybe be average.
Be average, yeah. But like if
But
you
it in this situation there's no
There's no
middle
middle
ground.
ground. I agree.
That's the problem. There's no middle
There's no
ground.
middle ground.
Yeah.
so it's the extreme left or the extreme right.
Yeah.
And I do believe that I don't think there is actually a poor, yeah, there's actually a poor person out there who you ask them that, well, let's end your life today, and then they would choose to end, then they would choose to go for it. It shows you that life is very precious.
Mm-hmm.
That even
Absolutely.
Sure.
though, even despite that state of lack, mm, they would still value their life. They will still want to get up tomorrow. They will still want to fulfill that feeling of hopefulness.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so we're gonna move on to our next one. Um, for $5 million, would you watch your life on TV with your parents?
Is that looking backwards or looking into the future?
No, looking backwards.
Looking
Because now looking
backwards.
into the future, you can decide what you want to do and what you don't want to
Look-
do. Watch your past life on camera, on TV with your
my
parents for $5 million.
Is it the things that I did when they were not there,
Everything.
or everything?
Yes.
Nah, absolutely not. But that money is enticing too. I have to be there's so much I'll do with $5 million.
Oh, more.
That's a difficult one. Would I? Yeah. It would probably, they'll probably, I don't know, disown me for maybe a year or two, but they're my parents.
Yes.
They'll always take me back.
I believe so.
But for that money, yeah, that money is good money.
They're like,
Money is tempting, man. The money is tempting. Damn. Uh, I will tell you that. Well, before I do it, I will start with I will take you guys for therapy.
Yeah, me first. Yeah.
Um, I don't know, man.
You don't. You gotta pick one.
Jesus, 5 million is a lot of money.
That's what I'm saying. It's like a
a
really
lot of
good
money.
point.
$5 million. It's not 5 million naira
know,
or
$5
5
million
million
dollars.
francs.
I know
Yeah.
that's a lot of money.
Mhm.
I don't know why. Let me just go because I don't know why you guys are thinking. If can they make it $10 million and bring 2 more family members or even 3?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Jesus.
Because $5 million, with $5 million we're talking about,
Yeah,
that would literally change
everything.
everything
That would
about
change
your life.
everything.
Everything. Yeah. Back home, you're a billionaire. Like,
Oh, yeah.
just like
Exactly.
that.
Yes.
Just like that.
So I
So-
don't know why anybody is like thinking twice.
But the thing is, if you think about the things you did when they
things
were
you
I
not
think
there,
about it. I think my parents, they at the end of the day they will understand. I don't think they also have their own things that they've done that they probably will not want me to watch. But for that money, $5 million, it changes our life, like all of
I mean,
us.
it's not as if I've killed anyone though.
Exactly. You've not killed except you've
yeah,
killed someone.
No.
Then
come
that's
on.
where yes, but I've not killed anyone, so
It's not as if I've done money rituals also.
But okay. Yeah. Think about it.
Oh, you have been a bad man.
Yeah, are we not all?
Are we?
I'm a good person, though.
I know, right? Oh yeah.
I'm a
Yeah,
good
but
person.
that money is good. It's like a good. It's sitting in the
No.
middle of
Honestly,
Yeah.
a good amount of money.
yeah, honestly, I would do it. Once we are done, or I would like take him to the therapy section
Right.
to forget it all.
To
forget
Because
it
5
all.
million is a
all.
lot of money.
No, $5 million is a lot of
Like,
money just to
Yes,
let it go
definitely
like
is.
that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely
I'm
is.
definitely taking it.
I'll
without
take
a
it.
doubt.
I'll take it. I'll change their lives. I'll give them 1 million, and
Yeah, 1 million.
we'll never
each.
talk about it.
Yes,
Exactly.
yes. Give them 1 million each. Let's forget about
Let's forget about
forget
it.
about
everything.
it.
Yep.
Wipe the memory. We didn't have this.
Yep.
All right, so we're gonna have a second game, right? And it's fill in the words.
Okay.
I'm gonna read out a word and I'll leave out some letters,
Mhm.
and then you fill it out.
All right.
And whoever gets it first gets a point.
Okay.
All right. So I mean, if you want to take out your phone and type it down, or you're just gonna, if you guys are smart people, it's fine by me.
Can we look this up or not?
No, you can't look it up.
Okay.
Oh, I don't even know why I have your phones, but we should have had like a pen or a paper or something.
I won't look it up. Integrity.
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 Okay.
I'm
All right.
scared.
But next time I'm gonna
I'm
have a
scared.
paper. Okay, so let me know when you guys are ready.
I'm ready.
Okay, the first letter is A. Space. Like that's a blank. So
Okay.
A
Mhm.
blank P blank A L.
So it's just words in between the spaces.
It's just letters. Yeah.
Letters.
Yeah.
Sorry,
So
letters in
it's-
between the spaces.
So it's A blank P blank AL.
Yes. Think.
Okay. The first word is appeal.
Ah, you got it.
That's it. APPEL. That
You
is
got
true.
it. Okay. So one for you. All right. So next one. M
Okay.
blank
Mhm.
G
Mhm.
blank another blank I blank N.
I
So 2 spaces between G and I.
blank N.
Yes.
So M blank G blank blank
I
I N.
blank N.
Blank. Yeah.
What?
Think. Should I give one more?
One more word.
One more letter. Yeah.
One more letter. I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
keep saying word.
Should
Letter.
I give one more?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, give it.
Okay. M blank
Mhm.
G
Uh-huh.
blank C I blank N.
After the G, you have a C.
After the G, you have
There's a
blank,
space.
and then you have a C.
So just 2 letters.
Then after the C, you have is a blank before the I.
So M
Mhm.
blank G blank C I blank N.
Okay.
Oh, blank ham. Okay.
N.
And
Oh.
magician.
Yes.
Magician, yeah.
You got it. Okay. We have our last one. Last one. Whoever gets this wins it. Okay. A blank blank. So 2 blanks.
Mm-hmm.
E blank T U blank E.
T U.
So we have 4 blanks. Right.
You want to? Yeah, we have 4 blanks. Think.
Antelope. No. Not antelope. There's a U. So it can be antelope.
Okay, let me give you another one. A
Uh-huh.
D blank E blank T U blank E. Dylan is thinking so hard.
You said AD blank E blank TU blank E.
Yeah, A D blank E blank T U blank E. Or should I give another one?
This one, it's not tough. It's just
There's an N. There's an N somewhere.
Okay.
there's an N somewhere.
There's an N somewhere. There's an N somewhere.
Adventure.
You got it.
Oh.
That was Jesus Christ.
Dylan has been thinking.
That was tough.
All right. Yeah.
I was looking at
Anytime,
that.
I felt like the first two were a little bit easier, so I was like, okay, let me make it a
And
little.
it's an everyday word.
Yeah.
Alright.
When I gave you guys the D, I thought you guys were gonna get it.
No, it was.
Yeah, was
it
the
could
D is the
be-
second letter, so it was
Ad.
still kind of hard.
Ad.
Yeah. I didn't think of adventure.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, yeah, that's the end. Next time we're gonna try to have.
Yeah, next time we'll make it 5.
Yeah, we'll make it 5. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and dive right in. But
Excuse me.
yeah, once more, welcome, Ola.
Thank
Like
you.
I said, he's my Nigerian friend, my Nigerian brother. I've known him for a little. How long have we known each other now? For like 2-3 years.
2022.
Yeah.
That's
So
what I meant.
3
Yeah.
years, right?
The first time I met you was my first job back from basic training.
Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
3 years now. He's from Nigeria. Very cool guy. Yeah, Nigerians. You guys are known for them expensive weddings.
Tell me about it. I just
Yeah.
came back from one. Okay? I just came back
Yeah.
from one. Yeah, my sister got married in January.
Oh, nice. Okay, you mean
Yeah.
like back home from Nigeria?
Yeah, back from yeah.
Yeah,
back
you
home.
guys are known for them
Couple
expensive
months
weddings.
ago.
Every lady now wants to get married tonight. I'm not gonna say every lady, but like
To
most ladies are
Nigeria.
like, I'm looking for my Nigerian king because yeah, they know you guys are
My Yoruba demon.
my
Money spenders, I mean. Okay.
You guys are the money spenders.
Yeah, it's a culture thing, I
I
guess.
That's
It's a
nice.
culture
But
thing.
I think other people are starting to copy right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Cameroonians. I had like this one guy, a friend. He had like his wedding, like
Here
was
or back
back
home?
home, like
Nice.
really big. But he's from here.
Oh, nice.
He went back home to do his wedding, like a really big back home Cameroon. Yeah. So, but I think yeah, other people are copying it. Or why? What's your opinion on that? Like expensive weddings.
Like I said, I think it's becoming ingrained into our culture. Even before I was born,
Yeah.
like, it's always been like this. But now there's just more light on it because of social media. People can bring out your phones, record,
Yeah.
and post things
Post it.
online and things like that. But it's
Yeah.
always been like that. Nigerians we've always had expensive weddings. That's it. We've always had expensive weddings.
Yeah, but in my opinion, I think because I think some people just like you said, it's the culture. So other people right now are just like copying it to show off.
That's what we do most of the time.
So
to be honest with you,
so it's pretty much like
yeah,
just showing
it's
off.
pretty much and I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. I mean, if we go into the details, like the nuances of it, like what you do to have that wedding, where you get the money from and things like that.
Yeah.
The steps you have to take. Now that's a different conversation. But typically, we do weddings to,
Make everyone happy.
family because I'm Yoruba.
Yeah.
And for Yoruba people, you're not the only person that's getting married. You may be the
main-
husband or the woman may be the wife.
Yeah.
But there's more people that are involved. Like it's the height of the parents.
Joy or
Yes, pretty much. It's the height of a parent's joy. Like that's the day they feel the most joy. Like that's the day they feel. For a lot of parents, that's like the climax of their accomplishment as a parent. Like seeing their daughter or their son getting
married.
Yeah, so it's not just about you on that day. Typically, parents own the wedding. Like things are
So
changing now.
it's not even your wedding, it's
No.
your parents' wedding.
And God forbid your parents are sponsoring it. Just forget it. They will tell you they have the most guests. They tell you everything. To do.
I don't have any problem with your parents like I don't have any problem with the expensive wedding. My problem is like you said, if your parents are sponsoring it, because my parents are sponsoring it and they want us to do very big. I don't care. Like let's do whatever you guys want, as long as she's comfortable with it as well, right?
Yeah,
But what if it's a situation where it's the man sponsoring it and he doesn't even have the finances for that, but you're expecting like a big wedding from him?
So, if the man doesn't have the money, or let's say he can finance what his parents want,
Yeah.
and the parents are able to, it's like it would be and that's where friction comes in, because if you're a man and you're saying, I'm putting my foot on the ground, this is what I want for my wedding.
Yeah.
It's the one day that I should get to have a say, and the parents are saying, I'm going to invite this woman that I've not talked to in 20 years because I want to,
because I want to come and see my kids getting married.
But because she has to see that my kids are now successful and I'm doing well as a parent, they want to bring people that they don't even talk to sometimes, and people you don't know, that your third uncle,
that your uncle, yeah,
that you've not spoken to in 10 years.
You didn't even, maybe you growing up like he the last time he saw you was when you were a kid, and you don't know about him.
And that's how Nigerian weddings fill up. It's most times we say, so where I come from, we say we're spending money to feed or to entertain people. That don't even care.
Yeah.
Like they just come to eat the food and everybody's gone. That's it.
Yeah, because after that day, it's like, go ahead.
Yeah. So what you said is very interesting, right? To a tune of indirect pressure, and it's on the guy, on the spouse or whatnot, right? You have been attending these weddings for the whole of your lives. Has there, I mean, for the whole of your life, have there ever been a time where, let's say you heard a story where it just did not happen for a particular family because the guy just wasn't financially there, and then the parents wanted it to go their way, but because the guy just did not have the means, it became a clash.
The wedding didn't
The
happen.
wedding didn't
I have
happen.
never seen that.
Wow.
Would right now it's possible
Okay.
because there's just something about this our generation. Like people put their foot on the ground and they don't care about the consequences.
Thank you very much, right?
Then like 15, 20, 30 years ago, you could never. Like it was almost a taboo to look your parents in the face and tell
Yeah, I
them
know, yeah.
you
That you-
because you know I have about 6, 7 people ahead of me. I'm the first child, but when I say those people are my cousins.
Cousins,
They
yeah,
can't.
the
They
elder
raised me,
cousins, yeah.
so I call them brothers because they raised me.
It's yeah.
So I
get
I
it,
watched
it's a-
everybody get married. I was a part of everybody's marriage, and they were not doing okay per
Yeah.
se when they married. So it was mostly the parents that did,
That did.
and there was no conversation. Like it wasn't even a conversation. When it's time to get married, you bring home your wife. The
Okay.
parents, they do what they have to do, and that's it. So I don't think it would ever. Maybe in our generation now,
No,
like
yeah.
for somebody like me,
Yeah.
why would you tell me what should
What to happen at your wedding?
I respect. At the end of the day, you have to respect your parents.
Right,
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, but there has to be
There has to be a
middle
boundary.
ground.
There has to be, yeah.
There has to be a middle ground. Like this is what I want for my wedding. I understand you're my parent, but it's my wedding. Now you can do it. But
Yeah.
then, so yeah, to answer your question, I've never experienced it. Never experienced it.
So what if in the case where, let's say, the guy's family is not how do I put it?
It's not on board.
It's not capable enough, right, to do it. But then again, the girl's family wants to do. I know that we are coming from Africa. It's kind of it's a taboo really for your wife's family to foot your bill for your marriage. But what if the guy doesn't have anything, but then the girl's family wants to do it that big? Is it allowed within the tradition to do that, or have you heard of stories where it has happened?
Yes.
Okay.
So contrary to your belief, actually, it's mostly the girl's
I think it's the
family
girl's family that
sponsor
has
weddings.
fees.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes. So it's like, as a man, you're going to the girl's family to take her from my family.
Okay.
So they
So
have to
that-
be the one to entertain.
You're the one.
Wow.
I think you're the one. You pay the bride price, obviously, because that's your
Yes.
own obligation. But then they have to entertain you
They
guys
have
for
to
coming
entertain
to.
because you're coming. It's like you're taking your family and going to their family to pick or to marry their daughter. Excuse my
Okay.
language. To marry their daughter.
Yeah.
So they have to be the one to entertain. At
So-
least that's what I've seen, for the most part.
So who decides if they want a big wedding or a small wedding? Is it the bride's family or the groom's family? Because what if it's a situation where one part wants a big
Yeah.
wedding and the other part doesn't want a big wedding?
Are you
do
talking
they-
about the husband and wife to be or the parents?
Yeah, the husband and wife to be. I mean, like, or their parents. Let me just say. I mean, the family in general.
Or do
Like the
they-
husband's family or the wife's family. One doesn't want a big wedding. The other one wants a big wedding.
Or do they put or do they gather all the family members? They put them into a group chat and then they claim.
I think you already know the answer to that. There was no WhatsApp 15 years ago. Mostly, people, at least I can speak for the Yorubas, we do weddings according to our financial capability.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter whether the wife's family or the husband's family wants it to. They just want to celebrate. I can't speak for every Yoruba person, but for majority, people typically hold big weddings. As far as one person is able to do it.
Okay.
I mean, it's for me. It's I always say if you can do it, do it.
Yeah.
Do it. Yeah. For instance, if maybe that's the type of wedding your wife wants and you can afford it, give it to her. Or if she wants a small wedding, give it to her. Or if, let's say, you want a big wedding and you can afford it, do it. But I have a problem with the situation where, let's say, someone cannot afford it, but people want that person to go that big.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you end up having to put yourself through all that, maybe going into debts and stuff to do a big wedding.
That is
And
my
then,
problem.
yeah, for a day, everybody celebrates, everybody eats, and once they go back home, guess what? You're
It's you
stuck.
and your life.
You're stuck with the debts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for your life.
Yeah, that's one thing too for me. But now that we grow every day, the more you age, the more knowledge and wisdom you have. like 5 years or 8 years ago, I'd probably say expensive wedding, at all costs. But now it's whatever you can afford because you will be the one to pay that debt.
Yeah.
Yeah, like come rain, come shine. It's your bank account.
Now you go
that's
pay 'em.
paid. Now you go pay that debt.
Now you go chest up.
Yes. So do what you can afford. If you can go all out, go all out. At the end of the day, it boils down to you and your spouse.
Yeah.
Understanding. And I think if you have an understanding spouse, it goes both ways. I may want it and she may not want it, and she may want it and I may not want it. It's sitting down, in
Having
our
that
closet,
conversation.
and having a conversation. I would advise against it. Don't get into debt to
Fund your wedding.
to finance a wedding.
Yeah.
But then, have you been to Yoruba weddings?
I was going to ask you, man, when are you taking me to? And I want to go to a Nigerian wedding.
We've talked about this now. Next year,
Okay.
guaranteed. I
All
told
right.
you next
Okay.
year.
So yeah, next year I'll be in Nigeria for my. I want to
I
have
got you, man.
the Nigerian
Yeah,
experience.
I'll show you a good time.
Okay.
I got you.
I trust
Guaranteed.
you. I trust you.
You're on me anytime, any day. But yeah, it's the joy, the aura, the event, the live music. Now we've even incorporated after parties into it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was I recently just knew about it like maybe 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
Now after the whole event, it's after party. I'm telling you.
And the thing with after parties back home are like those people are able to party till like 10 a.m.
Absolutely.
10 a.m. Some can go till midday. It's like these people don't rest.
Mm-hmm.
They don't sleep.
They don't sleep.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's
We-
like you just
link
you
parties
just
to
need
us.
the energy. And so yeah, you just need the energy, and if you need the finances, obviously, because it's money.
It's money. It is money to finance.
So for those after parties, do the parents attend the after parties, or you just
Some
Typically,
parents might do
it
that,
depends
right?
on their age.
Yeah.
Like when I went home now, my sister's wedding, I specifically told the MC to. I just used it as a rules to get like those older people to kind of leave. I told him to announce that if you're 50 and above,
leave.
Not leave per se. It's just we're about to start a young people party. We need the 50 and above to leave, and the whole down was like the pastors, the older family members, they left. But a lot of people that still stayed, at least like a good 20 to 30%, they were above 50. Like 3 to 4 of my brothers are above 50.
They would love
And
to enjoy.
yeah,
That's the
they are
thing.
young
They
guys.
love
like
to
in their mind, they are
enjoy.
young guys, but they're above
Yes.
50. So would you tell them to leave? Obviously not. It was the grandmas and then grandpas that
Age is just a
Well,
number.
age is just a number.
Yes, leave those people to enjoy.
Like they will say, life begins at 40.
Like definitely.
You'll probably see a 55-year-old grandpa trying to dance with a
I'm
20,
telling
25-year-old
you.
girl,
I'm
and you
telling
see him,
you.
he's struggling
Uh-huh.
behind her.
I'm telling you, man. But yeah, that's after party. I love it. Like I enjoyed the after party more than the wedding itself because that was the time that I actually got to, talk to
Dance.
my sister a little bit,
Mhm.
attend to sit down with my guests, like my friends, talk. Because during the wedding, I was running around.
Yeah.
Have you heard? What do you want? What does this person want? This, that. So by the time I was done, the wedding itself was already done. So it was the after party and it was good music too. It's the DJ plays, everybody's dancing, drinking and everything. So
That's where when the real Afrobeat starts.
I tell you, that's when and all that the Modu songs.
Ah,
yeah, back to back. So it was
they give everything.
They give that DJ try. So yeah, Nigerian weddings are you just have to attend one.
I'm looking forward to it.
Attend one in Nigeria. Not here.
No, I'm not talking about here because I won't get that. I won't get that real experience.
I attended one over here, but it was good. It was really good. I loved it. But I really want to do one in Nigeria.
Yeah.
I really want to you go to the source of all things.
You go to
the main source.
To the main source.
Yes.
You go to the source.
And there's a lot of spraying of money.
I know.
That's a non
Bundle by bundle.
Bundle by bundle.
So when you went this time, did they have like bags to just be gathering the bundles of money or?
Oh yeah, it was people. It was a lot of
They don't, because they don't spray money
Yeah,
on the
yeah, I
floor
know.
anymore.
They don't
Yeah,
spray
they
money on the
stopped
floor anymore.
doing
You
that in
can't spray
Nigeria.
naira anymore.
But you can
People
spray dollars. Yeah.
because it's
Almost.
not
Spray
Nigerian
dollars,
currency,
okay.
so you can spray dollars, but not the naira. So they just put it back, and I still, for some reason, I'm undecided on, whether it's good practice or not.
Yeah.
Do I do it? Absolutely, every time. But I'm still trying to understand what's the mindset behind it.
Yeah.
Behind spraying money.
I mean, at the end of the day, I think it just goes like it adds to the showing off still,
Yeah.
because
Uh-huh.
that's the whole point. Like, it's
That's
part of
what
the
the
whole
show
point of the
about, yeah.
big wedding,
Of the
right?
wedding, yeah.
Showing off, and then so the spray money and all of that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we like to, we like to spray it.
Yeah, I believe that as Africans, we have always been in the game of showing off, in the game of putting it out there, of showing that yes, we have it.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
Africans.
We don't want, we don't like silence.
Africans can stay low key.
Yeah, they can stay low key.
We can stay. Yeah, it is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, you talked about growing up like 8 years ago. You probably would have said like you wanted a big wedding, but now like it looks like you kind of changed your mind. Why? I mean, obviously that's like, is it because you become an adult, right?
I think
So what are some of the reasons that like factors that led to like you changing your mind about that? And
I think adulting has played into it. I'm more exposed, I have more information. So like we were saying earlier, if you can afford it
yeah,
without breaking the bank, by all means, it's one of the happiest days of your life. So if you can
You
afford
can
to
do
pay
it.
for it, pay for it. But do not break the bank. Especially in a place like this. We live in America. Bills are paid by the month.
facts.
Yeah.
So you want to
Yeah,
get into debt, go do that wedding and come back. And you come back to your bills. Like, if you like, don't come back. Your bills are still running. That's what you. So you come back to your bills, and then you have to pay the debt too. Like, and debt can put you into depression.
Yeah.
So and there's a lot of things you can do with that money. I'm still on. Don't forget, if you can afford
To pay for it.
pay for
Yeah.
it. But if you cannot, don't get into debt. And if you want to pay for it, make sure you have something to come back to as well.
Right. Yeah.
Left to me, I'll probably take a vacation
Yeah.
over
Yeah.
a glamorous wedding.
Where you're just
probably
feeding
think, yeah.
random people who might
Yeah.
never see you again
Again.
after that day.
But if I can afford to take the vacation and pay for the wedding, absolutely.
Yeah, do it.
by all
Yeah.
means.
Like it boils, like, at the end of the day, like you said, it boils down to if you can afford it, do
Or
it.
not. Or
By the way, if you're watching, I just want to say happy rent week. Make sure you pay your rent because you're gonna get evicted. But yeah, let's move on.
It's about to be the 1st of May.
Uh,
It's about to be the 1st of May.
yeah.
So
But is really just I don't also feel like it's a lot of social media pressure, a lot of social media that
Excuse me.
really goes into people making like those decisions. Right? They want to put that performance out there, like the dress must trend, the dancing style must trend. If the cake is not taller than the both of you, then the cake is not kicking.
I saw these girls, girl who just got married, this
Priscilla
lady
Ojo.
Priscilla. Her cake, she literally walked into that shit with her husband.
Yes, I've never seen that before.
Oh wow. Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah,
they
she
walked into
stood
the cake.
inside with her husband.
Yeah,
Like, it was
to pictures.
big.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm like, how do you cut that? But
Oh,
yeah, some of it is just like social
How
media
do you
pressure.
make
But
that?
I know.
how do you? That's the first
that
question.
came to
Yeah,
my
how do
mind.
you make that?
Who made that?
And the price too.
And the price too.
Yeah, or more people are making money.
Because like the small cakes, just the price tags for those small cakes, first of all throws you off. And now you have
Talk
that
less of
one.
the big one.
Yeah. But I mean, here, that cake probably cost maybe $20,000 or maybe less. Like $10,000 is like 16 million right now.
$20,000 for a wedding cake.
I
That's-
know, it's
that's-
diabolical.
That's
Diabolical.
money that
That's
someone would spend, get married, divorce,
Mhm.
and get married again.
Yeah, I know.
That's money for two
Okay,
weddings.
let's take it. I'm just exaggerating.
I
don't
mean,
know.
but
I'm just saying.
it could be. It
But
could be
It's
because
possible.
that's a lot
they
of
walked
money.
into that cave.
Yeah,
man.
that's a lot of money.
So,
but yeah,
It's very possible.
but yeah, the cake was big. Like if you check out the cake, you know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, they
sure.
literally stood inside.
And-
So first off, you have to think about the fact that
Mhm.
it has to be able to accommodate the weight of two people
And the height too.
and the
And
height
too. Yeah.
and the size.
And they were not squeezing. Like
Yes, they were
seemed
standing inside
comfortable in
freely.
it. So
But yeah, let's move on a little bit from the weddings, and we're talking about adulting. So maybe let's talk a little bit about adulting, how life as an adult.
life as an adult.
Yeah, it's tough.
Oh,
I'm just going to put it in a nutshell. It's tough.
that doesn't even
The pressure
It's
is
an
getting
understatement.
worse.
It is. It is. Adulting is definitely tough. Like there's a lot of things you worry about. The first thing, obviously, that anybody worries about is food, clothing, and shelter. That's the basic.
Yeah.
You have to worry about that.
The big three.
The big three. You have to navigate relationships, whether with your friends or with your significant other. You have to show up for people. You have to, be there for your family. And you have to make time for yourself too. So there's a
Very
lot.
important.
There's a lot to talk about
Yeah.
when it comes to adulting.
You want to take it down?
What about the? I'll let you guys will continue.
Yeah, for me, I'm just going to say that it's not what a lot of us expected. Because I can remember, like, when I was young, I'd get yelled at by my parents, and I'll be like, I can't wait to grow up so I can leave this house and be on my own type thing. But then, like you said, there's just a lot when it comes to adulting. Yeah, like what we expected it to be. I don't know if it's our generation. I don't know if the previous generation had it this tough. But in my opinion, if you ask me, I feel like it's just become tougher for this generation. In the sense that, okay, first of all, when we look at the prices of stuff right now, I know, like, okay, there's been an increase in maybe like how much people get paid compared to back then. But also when you look at the ratio of like how much increase has been in like people's salaries and stuff, and you compare to the ratio of inflation, that's nothing close.
It doesn't account for it.
It doesn't account for it. For instance, I'd say like 3-4 years ago, things were like 50% cheaper than it is right now. So there's been like a 100% increase in inflation, but there hasn't been that same increase in salaries.
Pay. That is true.
Yeah. So I feel like it's just more tough for us as a generation right now because of how expensive things are. And then coupled with the fact that social media comes up a lot, I feel like it affects a lot of things. So right now, social media has like affected us as a generation,
A lot.
our lives as adults.
Absolutely.
For instance, you talked about keeping up with relationships. I feel like because a lot of relationships back then, the dynamics of relationships back then have changed when you compare it to now, because everyone is trying to they're trying to compare their relationship with other people, or they're trying to mirror other people's relationship. And all of that is because of social media. Absolutely. Prior to social media, you wouldn't know what's going on in someone's life. That person will probably tell you, I'm going to Dubai. They'll go to Dubai. You don't know what they are doing in Dubai.
Absolutely.
But now, that person doesn't even tell you, I'm going to Dubai. You just see them in Dubai. Or you just see them, they'll post themselves on the plane. You see them, they'll post themselves in an expensive hotel. You see them, they'll post themselves on a jet ski. And then you're like, okay, I want to do that too.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. I believe that social media has essentially made the pressure just worse. I mean, put it that way. It has just put a lot of pressure on us because all we really see is the end goal, right? For example, that guy is in Dubai or she's in Dubai, on a yacht or whatnot, right? Flying first class here and there. And all you see is that aspect, but not the things that were done to put the
Put the
person,
person in that position.
right?
Yeah.
And you look at your life, you compare to that person's life, it's like, okay, the both of you are really doing the same thing, but how that person is able to afford that, it just blows your mind off.
Absolutely.
And people do not see all the credit cards that have been swiped to get to that level. All they see is the door of it. Yeah,
that's death.
yeah,
Right?
people don't see, like, you will see someone driving a very beautiful car, posting the car here and there. You don't see the car note attached to the car.
To the car.
You see the car itself, and that alone builds pressure.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, it's not like people are obligated to say that, well, I took a car note, right? They're not obligated to tell you how they got it, right? It's just showing you
What they have.
What they have.
They're just gonna show you
Right.
what they have.
What they have, and that essentially plays into adding to
Your pressure.
to
You're
your
thinking
pressure.
you're
You
not doing
thinking
good enough.
your depression and all the rest. You thinking you are not doing good enough. Whereas if you look at it, you most likely are. You just choose not to get yourself involved into debt.
Yeah.
Especially now. Yeah. And now, and to be very honest, we are actually finding it more difficult than our parents did. It's a sad reality.
Yeah.
We take out social media, and we take out the
Even if we
aspect
take out a
of,
lot of stuff.
as a lot of stuff, the aspect of debt, just the economy itself is just worse to the way our parents had it. Right?
Yeah.
Just a couple of years ago, you probably wouldn't have a very lucrative job, but then you could afford you could afford a house, you could afford a car, like
You could afford the basics.
the basics.
That
is true. Yeah.
Like, you could afford to save up for retirement, you could afford to take a vacation now and then without feeling
Having to break the bank.
exactly, or it getting to you.
Yeah.
But today, am I trying to afford groceries, or
Are you trying to pay your rent?
am I trying to pay my rent, or am I trying to take a trip? As you cannot, it's like, if you pick one, the other two have to go.
Absolutely.
It becomes it just adds to the strain of it, coupled again with what social media is giving to us.
I feel like another one back home is like we have to add like bad government to it.
Oh, yeah.
That's another one that has just made this adulting crazy for people back home. Yeah, because they don't even want to give people a chance to get jobs and all of that. So
I absolutely agree to that. I say it with like every exaggeration that I can possibly say it with. Social media does more harm than good, in my subjective opinion. And this is subjective to me. It does so much harm.
I agree.
They always say comparison is a thief of joy. Your life can absolutely be turned up, because we cannot say, no, I can't be influenced, or I'm strong, or this or that. But that's the reason the word influence exists. It's there to be exercised on people.
Yeah.
Influence is real. You can go online today and see something and absolutely think your life is nothing.
Yeah. Life is a mess.
The things that I see online, there's a lot to talk about when it comes to social media. It has done way more harm than good. And that has morphed into every aspect of life. Keeping relationships, living a balanced life, healthy living.
Yeah.
Money, like managing finances, making money and things like that. Like, so much harm has been done that good. Like, I be African man. Like, one example is OnlyFans. Like, the things that are happening now I always tell somebody that the things that we see now, like 20 years ago, you absolutely could not conceive those things in your mind.
Not even
Like
think
in
about
your
it.
wildest imagination, you could, if somebody took you into a trance, you would probably not be able to think of things that are happening now 20 years ago. And look at where we are today.
You wouldn't even
As a
if
society.
someone even told you that might happen in the future, you wouldn't even you probably you wouldn't believe it.
But look at where we are
Yeah.
today. And it just, I think our lives are now controlled by what we see online for the most part. Like,
That's
whether
true.
we want to admit it or not, our lives are now controlled by a lot of things that we see online.
Yeah.
Like, people are getting into relationships, like go online, look for one person's advice or look for one post and you relate that to yourself.
To yourself.
It actually, it takes away from the authenticity of thinking by yourself, like, you know, deciding between what is right and what is wrong. You can just go online and find something that relates to what you are thinking or that relates to what you're looking for, and that's it. Boom. Takes away from your thought process or
Right.
your ability to think deeply.
Yeah.
And make a, you know, reasonable decision.
Judgment. Yeah. By the way, we had an episode on this pressure thing, this social media influence.
Yeah.
It was pretty much initially we were gonna talk about like peer pressure, but we ended up talking about like social media pressure because we had Chi on this episode, and if you haven't watched that yet, remember to check it out. I'll probably attach the link at the end of the screen, but also you can scroll to our previous episodes and check that out. Like, it was really interesting as well. But he talked about this social media influence, and he said that right now we've pretty much changed from peer pressure to social media pressure, because a lot of things that influence us now, our peers don't even pressure us, like the media pressures us, because you're probably looking at someone whom you didn't grow up with. Like maybe he gave an example. You're a 30-year-old lady, you live in Cameroon or you live somewhere else, and you're influenced by a 21-year-old in Nigeria who gets married to a billionaire. First of all, that's not your peer. You didn't grow up with that person. You guys are not the same age group. You guys are not the same financial class. You get, but you're influenced by that person. You're jealous of that person. Not oh, you envy that person. You want to be in that person's shoes, and that's what leads a lot of people to do crazy stuff.
Absolutely, it's
it's crazy.
It is, and relationship. You know, talking about relationships, it's. You said earlier that our parents did not have it hard like we do. They really didn't have people to compare to.
Oh yeah.
If you get it.
Yeah.
Like, you can go online now and find 10 people who are, you know, quote unquote being odogos to their girls. You don't know what that person does. You don't know the life they live. And then you start to, in your mind, subconsciously, even if you didn't want to do it, you start thinking about it like, why is he not buying me that bracelet? Or why is she not doing this for me? And it goes both ways.
It goes both ways.
Because as a man too, you can go online and, you know, see a girl who is twerking
for her man.
That's just an example. And your girl doesn't know how to do it. And then you expect her to start doing things like that. And that's just a random example.
And you might end up leaving her for another girl who does that.
Those things are ephemeral. And we like to compare too much, and it's done so much damage to us. Like, we're here because of the things that we did to ourselves. The society that we live in today, we created it. Nobody did. It's, you know,
I feel sorry for the next generation because it's just gonna get worse. That's the sad truth. Adulting, like being an adult, it's just gonna get tough for the next generation. It's gonna get worse. Absolutely. Like, if we think that this generation is fucked, trust me, the next generation.
They'll have it hard. I agree. But I mean, we know the next generation. There's
gonna be another generation. I don't know. Is it the end of the world?
We'll give birth to children.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I honestly, I don't like. Can it get any worse than this?
I don't know if it can, but I just feel like it's gonna get worse.
Well, it sure can get worse than this. right? I mean,
Because we still have some good people.
yeah, I believe that, and I've said this to a couple of my friends that um humans we are very forgetful creatures, right? It literally takes to one generation or at most two generations to essentially forget the progress that were made for us to be here today, right? What we are seeing today, it just did not happen. It just did not start with us.
Absolutely.
And it's not going to end with us.
Yeah.
It is something that happened. If you look at I believe the Romans, it happened with them, where we literally had concentration of wealth, essentially to a smaller group of people, and then the mass is feeling the pressure, right? Because as those prices increase, as these prices continue to go up, people begin to find at least something of joy, or not to think of it, or something just to get their minds off of it. And they then turn to social media, and then it just makes it worse.
Adapt.
It makes it worse.
Yes.
And it didn't start with us. It's not going to end with us.
Right, I agree.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at some point, there is going to be a turning point, and then we go through a reset. Then everything probably is fine again. Till again, some other generation down the line is back to the same point. So, but yeah, it's going to be bad for the next group of people.
It is.
Absolutely. If it's difficult for you to rent today, and it's difficult for most to even buy a house today and afford a house today, it definitely doesn't get easy.
It doesn't.
If things don't change.
It's money is a problem now. I'm
Yeah,
not
it's a
even gonna lie to you. A 6-figure salary now is, depending on where the 6-figure is, obviously, but like 100K, 120, 30K salary now, you probably will still struggle.
Yeah.
You
After
will
taxes.
struggle. You will struggle. It's not even about you probably will still struggle. You
And
will struggle.
That was absolutely, it was unfathomable years ago.
Yeah.
Like
People who were making 6 figures were living comfortable.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, I have some, older bosses here. I will tell them, you people have no idea how good you have it. It's like people who have been here for a minute, like a good 15, 20 years, 10 years. Like when inflation rate was 1%, 2%, 3%, those people bought houses. And, their houses are worth 500K or 600K. And you ask them how much they are paying, and they tell you 2,000. If you get a 600K house now, you're looking at between 4 to 5K.
Yeah.
Mortgage.
Yeah.
Like, how are you supposed to pay that? How? Even if you make $200,000 a year, how? Would all your money be going to mortgage?
No.
You have to buy food, you have to pay car notes.
You have to save up.
You have to save up.
God forbid if you have a family.
You have a family. I was going to say God forbid, but it's not a God forbid thing.
I mean, I'm just saying it in quotes. Yeah.
You have a family.
But you have a family, you have to take care of it.
You have to take care of your family. And you have to do something for yourself too.
Yeah.
You want to take a break, you want to take a vacation.
Exactly.
You want to buy a good watch. You want to.
And then if you don't have a family, you have a babe. She's asking for that bone straight. She's seen the other girl. She's seen the other girl online, and she wants that same bone straight.
That one was said, social media.
Yeah.
So it's hard. It is hard. Like money now. I think the two most difficult things now, money and relationships.
Yes.
And it's not just relationship with your significant other alone, with others in
family.
general, with family. Money is, I'm telling you, by the time you're done paying bills, money is gone.
Money is gone. Yeah.
Even before you even pay those bills, it's like a lot of people, like right now, a lot of people are living paycheck to paycheck. That's something that it doesn't even get talked about. And there are people who live paycheck to paycheck and they are still not able to meet up to those bills.
Absolutely.
There are people who live paid, and some people, they're just waiting to get paid. Once their paycheck hits, everything leaves their account. Everything leaves their account immediately. Like they can't even save up. And another problem another problem about this adulting is because I feel like growing up, there are certain things that I feel like could have been taught in school that were not taught to us.
Yeah.
Like for instance,
Financial
financial management, stuff like that.
Absolutely.
For instance, because like we talk about people living paycheck to paycheck. Trust me, some people are living paycheck to paycheck because they are really paying their bills. But there are people living paycheck to paycheck because, and some can't even pay some of their bills even because some of their money is going where it shouldn't be going.
They don't know how to manage.
For instance, they are buying clothes, they are buying shoes, they are going on vacations, but they can't afford it.
Absolutely.
And it boils down to the social media still because they just want to show off.
Absolutely. If you didn't see those things online, you probably
won't bother about it.
Chances are you probably won't bother about it.
Yeah. So they are doing all of that, but they can't afford it. They're not paying their bills, but they want to go on vacation. They want to shop for clothes. So stuff like that, financial management, for instance, nobody prepared us for it.
Absolutely, nobody did. I mean, I just tell myself it is what it is. Like life ultimately doesn't hold anybody an understanding. When it comes down to like when push comes to shove, your life is ultimately your decision.
Right.
Whatever decision you make, you reap the consequences. So could we have had it better? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But life is just what it is.
It is what it is.
It's a choice you have to make every day. So you have the information, you have the knowledge. Do what you want with it.
I mean, at times too, it's not. At times, people too they do have the choice, but they don't have the information. At times it's just like Bado said, financial literacy. At times, people do not understand that, like those simple things that our parents used to do still work today. For example, I remember when before my mom went to the market, she would get like a little piece of paper.
Yeah.
It wasn't too big. She would take a pen
and write down everything.
She would like pepper, Maggi, salt,
the shopping list.
The shopping list.
Yeah.
And then attribute an amount to it and get a total from it.
Yeah.
So it's easier. At times it's it's people not knowing how to do budgeting. It's people not also setting priorities straight. That okay, maybe I need to get out of this situation. Maybe I need to get out of this situation of using debt to sponsor my life.
Yeah.
And probably start working to pay off that debt so that I can then sponsor my life with
my own money.
With my own money, with hardcore cash. It's that too. It's also to the mindset around it. Like there is when you actually there was actually a study that was done that when you spend your own money, I mean like you work for it, it comes into your account. When you use that debit card to buy something, it actually hits you different.
Yeah.
Than when you
use a credit card.
Absolutely.
That's true. I agree.
100%.
Yeah.
You think different. Like some part of your brain is triggered because of that reaction.
Yeah.
And because that part of your brain is triggered because of that reaction, it ensures that it allows you to be much more responsible in your expenditure. But then when you are just swiping the credit card, even though the credit card balance is a zero, when you are swiping it, you know that you have money. There's money that is coming. You're gonna pay it. You are gonna pay it.
Yeah. And then that time comes and it's like you don't want to pay it.
Yeah, that time comes.
Sometimes even you have money, you don't have because I'm gonna talk about my experience in this situation because it's something that I do also sometimes. Like I will get something with like these split payments. For instance, like we have like this afterpay,
Affirm,
all
Klarna,
of those. Yeah, if you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, you do the split payment thing, and then when time comes and it's time to pay, because what I do is most of the time I remove money from my checkings account and I move it to my savings account because I don't want a random bill to just take it away. So I will get that notification that it got declined, and then I'll be like, let me just pay it the next day, or let me just pay it the next week, But when you actually like taking that loan, you
No,
didn't
nothing.
think about the fact that when that day
No.
comes, you'd be like, let me just pay the next week, or let me pay
Absolutely.
the next week. But at that moment now, you probably have money in your account, but you're like, no, let me just push it a little further because
is
that
true.
money can help me with something else, and that's something I do. So I can relate with that point.
Yeah, that happens. So it's that at times, so like the money even comes in, and then some other issue comes up, and then you have to solve that issue
Yes.
rather than paying that money, and then all that is doing is that the APR doesn't it just doesn't go down to zero magically.
No,
It just keeps the interest keeps coming.
absolutely.
Yeah,
It keeps
piling up.
going. It keeps piling up.
Compound interest.
Compound interest. Before you know it, you were owing $500 yesterday. Before you know it, tomorrow you owe more. And so yeah, is this still? I to me, I believe that despite it being difficult, despite it being very hard, I believe that there is still a chance to live a modest life, but we all need to start small, and those at home, like start with the budget, right? You can use your Excel sheets. You create a little budget for yourself, so that you get a dollar amount of what you spend on, or what is required necessity, because there are needs. I think it's needs and wants. Yeah, you get that amount for your needs, for those specific needs, your bills and all the rest. Then you also have a dollar amount for your wants, and you can then begin, if you probably have like credit card debts or card note or whatnot, maybe put those on some level of payment to pay those off as fast as possible. Because once those are paid, it gives you the illusion that you have more money coming in. It's an illusion that you have more money coming in.
Yeah.
But that puts you in a better financial peace of mind.
Absolutely.
As to, okay, now I can use this money to probably finally take that Dubai trip, or maybe take that trip to Mars.
That's not credit card funded.
No
credit card for
funded.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
You talked about a car note. I don't know if you guys know Dave Ramsey.
Oh yeah, I do follow.
What?
I do follow.
Dave Ramsey
Dave Ramsey.
is like if you know the book, what's the name of this book again?
Is it Rich Dad Poor Dad?
No, that book that made it popular. It's a financial. It has to do with finances. I have the book in my bag. I read it. I forgot the title. But Dave Ramsey is one of those people who talks about finances, and like I think he's very knowledgeable. He said one of the worst investments or one of the worst things you can do to yourself is to get a car note. A car note is a very terrible thing to do to yourself, especially if you drive an expensive car. And I mean this show too. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
but I glory be to God, I'm able to pay. But
That's the
it really is a terrible
I can relate.
investment.
I can relate.
I tell people now, like when people talk to me about cars, like please do not get a car note.
Yeah.
By the time you look back, it's when you want to get that car,
You're excited.
You're excited. You're saying, yeah, I can afford it, because obviously, if you're getting paid well,
yeah.
you want to drive a good car.
Mm-hmm.
When you want to get that car, most people, I would like to say all of us don't think about month 17 or month 18 when you've driven that car for so long and now you're tired of it. You're thinking about the first 2-3 months. It's I'm gonna pay it, it's nothing. But over time, when you've paid for 12 months, when you've paid for 14 months, 16 months, you look back and then you put the money together, and the money you're paying on insurance too, you realize you've paid so much. And then, we come here and we say adulting is hard. Sometimes we put ourselves in this stage.
Yeah, I was getting to the stage where I was gonna say, like, some of the things that make adulting harder, our life choices.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Choices.
Our life choices. We make terrible choices.
Absolutely.
And when I say we, I'm myself included.
Mm-hmm.
We make terrible choices, and then you look back, and unfortunately, I don't blame people. I'm gonna blame people because we have to share the blame, but to an extent, you can't just put the blame on people, because They say experience is your best teacher.
Absolutely.
If you don't go through that experience, you will not learn from it. If you don't do it, you will not know that okay. Some people might tell you, but then there are just people who we can call them Thomas. Yes. We can call them Thomas. They want to see they want to see before they believe.
Don't be lying.
Yes. So if you don't go through that experience, you will not believe that okay, this is not helpful for me.
Absolutely.
You get what I'm saying? Yes, like the car note now, if you go out there and you tell people that the car note is not good, someone is gonna be like, I'm still gonna get it anyway. I want to drive a fancy car. Right? And then they get it. They're excited. That excitement is gonna wear off within 3 months, 6 months.
It definitely.
Yes, when that bill start hitting you hard, that excitement is definitely gonna wear off.
I promise you. And like in my years of leave, never ever experienced 30 days being so short until I moved into this country. 30 days gone, just like that.
Yes.
Day 1, day 2, day, and before you know it,
we're already 4 months into 2025.
25 months.
Like my birthday just passed, and I was like, "Damn, I'm getting old."
30 days goes by so fast. It will be the 1st of May, like next week now. Before you know it, we'll be talking about it's about to be the 1st of June. It goes by so fast. And these bills are due every month.
Every month.
Yep.
Every month.
Some of them are due mid-month. Some of them are due at the end of the month. Even it's not even like you don't get a break.
No break.
Yeah, by the time when we get to July, it's like we literally have July. You have September. You have November. You have December. The other months in between don't count. So that fast.
Can you say that again? What did you say?
When you get to July,
yes,
you have once we hit July, you have that July. You have September, you have November, and then you have December. The other months don't count. It flies by this quick.
You don't know when it went by.
You don't know when it went by.
Yeah. I'd like coming to like choices. Another one I'm gonna say is like our career choices.
That too.
Our career choices. Some of us don't even think about like careers. Growing up, some of us just want to like when you're 18, 19 years old and you're still living with your parents, you're not thinking long term. You graduate high school and you're like, F it, fuck it. I'm not going to university, I'm not going to college. And then you just want to do that bare minimum job that is gonna pay for your bill.
Absolutely.
And then we fail to understand that after a couple number of years, it's very difficult for you to be like, I'm going to go back to school and actually go back to school. It's very difficult.
That is true.
So you be like, I want to take that break. You take that break, you start feeling like life is good. You start taking a couple of trips here and there. You're 18, you're 19. You can do whatever you want to do. Next thing you want to see, you're 21. You can start drinking alcohol, going into every club you want. Before you know it, you're an adult. Before you know it, maybe you've gotten a girl pregnant.
And that's it.
That's already life. Or you, as a lady, or maybe you got pregnant.
And that's just, it turns your life around.
It turns your life around. You can't go back to school. Or even if you manage to go back to school, you have to get through that stage where you raise that kid first. And you have to do a major reset on your life before you're able to go back to school. Or you're able to take on, like, it must not be going back to school. You can definitely still make a life of something else without going back to school. But for you to get there, you're going to need a lot of discipline. But the fact is that you already went through that phase where you made bad decisions.
Some choices you can take back.
Yes.
They would continue to follow you for the rest of your life.
Yes.
And one of them is having a child.
Yes.
Whether in marriage or whether outside of marriage. You can't take that back. That follows you for the rest of your life. So, you have to think deep, be careful, be intentional about what you do with your life. Make good choices.
And God forbid, maybe you have that child with someone who still lives with their parents. You guys are in the same boat.
That's a bad idea.
It happens.
That's a bad idea.
It happens. That's what I say. That's what I say. God forbid you have a kid with someone who still lives under their parent. Like I said, you could be still living with your parents. You're excited about life. Your parents don't want. Like, we have to know that okay, our parents spoil us. They do spoil us sometimes. Like they don't want us to leave the house early enough. They want you to get to a stage where okay, maybe you're married before you even leave the house. So you just get comfortable in your parents' house. You're not looking like 3, 4, 5 years down the line. You're just comfortable. You're just living life. You're just enjoying life. And tomorrow you find yourself in that situation. Now you have to get yourself out of the mindset that I'm leaving under someone into the mindset that I'm gonna be taking care of someone.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So you haven't even experienced the stage where you had to take care of yourself, but you've left the stage where someone else was taking care of you to the stage where you have to take care of someone else.
And the flip of the switch. I think you have to go through the process. Being taken care of.
Take care of yourself before you can take care of
take care
someone
of
else.
somebody.
Yes.
It's a process.
That way you build that mindset, that mentality of being responsible, taking up responsibilities. But if you don't get to that stage of at least taking care of yourself, experiencing life, it's gonna be very tough. And that's why a lot of young people who have kids, they find it difficult. Because when it gets tough, it's like, I don't want to say a child taking care of another child, but in some situations, that's what it is. That's what it is. We can agree that some people have kids very young. I feel like even I'm sorry if you have a kid at that age. Congratulations, but I feel like having kids at like 21, 20, it's still young. It's still young. You don't know enough. You're just old on paper, but you've not fully matured as an adult. You've not experienced enough in life to make good decisions, better decisions. So it's tough. Yeah.
At 21, you're actually popping bottles.
You are popping bottles.
So you have made it in life.
Yeah, I say the same thing too. 21, 20, 19, 22, maybe.
Yeah.
They have no business being parents.
Yeah.
And it's sad that it has become an acceptable norm.
It's norm, yeah.
That it's okay for 21-year-olds or people still speak against it. But to some people, it's acceptable that at 21, you can be a parent. At 21, I think I just graduated college. And I would not say that I didn't have a direction, but there was no seriousness to what direction I was going in life because I just graduated college. I was just happy to graduate college and move on to the next. And I wasn't thinking about getting married or having a kid. You have no business being a parent at a very young age like that.
Yeah.
Life is a process, and you have to go through that process.
Those processes.
You definitely have to.
Yeah. When you skip a stage, it's like you miss that learning process.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it affects you later on. Trust me. But enough of the negative stuff about adulting. What are some of the good things about being an adult?
Independence.
I was gonna say freedom, but it's the same thing. The autonomy of choice.
Yeah.
To do what
I agree.
If you work and earn a living for yourself, it's sometimes the fulfillment that comes with being able to accomplish something.
Yeah.
You're able to get yourself a job, go to that work, do something, make an impact, come back home, and be a source of joy to maybe your child or your parents, your family. Impact somebody's life. It's one of the joys of adulthood. Putting a smile on other people's faces as an adult. Yeah. It's one of the joys of it. The fact that you're able to influence or impact other people's lives positively.
Someone looks up to you.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
You set a goal, you put a time on it, and you meet it. That's how you know you're growing. Or that's how you tell you. Obviously, people who are young do the same thing too.
Yeah.
But one of the joys of adulthood is being able to accomplish things and say, yes, I made myself a name. I did this. I carved a niche for myself. It's one of the joys of adulthood.
I always say for me, one thing that motivates me is like when I look at something that I successfully did, I'm motivated to do more. Yeah. So when you look at like impacting someone else, being an adult, someone looking up to like stuff like that. They motivate
No,
you.
motivate you,
Yeah. But I feel like the big one is like the independence, like you said, because sometimes growing up, we can agree, like you live with your parents and stuff. There's always gonna be one or two things that you probably not like how it's done. You'd want to do it your own way,
Yeah.
but you really can't do it because you're still living with someone. And I'm not saying you should be pressured to leave your parents or something. Take your time, but like you said, it's a stage. When you get to that stage of independence, you're gonna enjoy it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you like we used to you can bring your babe home. You can bring your
Yeah,
babe. You
right.
can bring your babe to your place, but when you will, I mean, I'm just talking like us guys. We always have that stage where it's like I want to be able to have my girlfriend
My
over.
girlfriend over.
But if you're living with your parents, you cannot do that. But once you're independent, you're an adult, live on your own, you can do all of that. Yeah.
It's-
If you're living with your parents and then they probably have a basement, you can take her to the basement.
please.
I know, right?
Don't listen to that advice. You will get caught.
That will be the death of you.
There will be a court. There will be a court.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but it's crazy. It's crazy how strict our parents were on us growing up.
Yeah.
Certain things that you just couldn't phantom to do, or you couldn't just perhaps do it to under their roof, and how that too has ended up having to mold us and to change our perspective even when it relates to careers, um even to the career choices you end up having as an adult, even to the decisions that you end up taking, even while being independent, while being, like you said, autonomy of choice, even though you do have that autonomy of choice, there is, I guess, there is there's a boundary to how far that to how much of a
How much-
choice you have,
yeah.
of a choice you have, or how much of a or how far you can go when it relates to thinking, when it relates to decision making, when it relates to decision making concerning a particular issue.
absolutely.
So
Yeah, and like talking about like how far you can go. I grew up in a family where my parents who raised me, they were very strict. They were very strict. And when I talk about strict, I don't mean like you the type of parents who would like say something just from them talking to you, you would adjust. And growing up, I grew up in a house where we had a lot of kids. You know, like that's a normal thing back home in African homes. Like maybe the grandfather, he has a lot of kids. Most of the times kids they grew up in his house.
Yes.
So I had elder sisters who were like adults. They were above 21, but they couldn't go out whenever they wanted to.
Not in
If
an
they
African, no.
yes,
You dare not.
you dare not. If they wanted to go out, they would have to sneak out.
And if they get caught, Jesus Christ.
So what they have to do is they have to wait for our parents to go to sleep. And when they go to sleep, because my uncle, like he's the one I lived with at that point, because I lived with him too. So he would in the like at 10, 11 p.m. he just goes from room to room, checking to see who's at home and who is not at home. So we'd have to wait for him to go to sleep first. When he goes to sleep and he locks his door, that's when you can step out.
Damn.
And you have to make sure that you come back before 5 a.m. because he wakes up at 5 a.m. to go do physical exercises.
Okay.
Sometimes you don't know if he's gonna go or he's not gonna go because he can wake up and actually go for a run. And if you come back when he's out for a run, good for you. But if you come back and it's one of those days when he says he's not going for a run and he's just gonna do exercises at home, you're gonna have to tell him where you're coming from. Yeah. So it was a very like he said, it was very big, and it's not like they were kids; they were adults, adults, 21 and above, but they couldn't just go out like that.
Absolutely.
Like we still had that fear.
I think that our parents, I don't think we can match up to what they did.
No, we cannot.
My parents did so much. Like now that I'm grown, I've become an adult. I do more thanking to my parents than complaints.
Yeah.
Our parents did so much. They looked out for us. They prayed for us.
Yeah.
They prayed for us.
Yeah.
They prayed for us.
Yeah.
My parents prayed for me. My mother prayed for me a lot. They Now that I'm raising a child of my own, it's I see the differences in what they did and what I'm doing now. And they didn't have no book to read or no social media no posts to read online about how you should parent.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take away from the fact that they were imperfect themselves and they were flawed, and we saw through the flaws. But excuse me, they did a lot of protection. They protected us from a lot as parents. And most importantly, like I said again, if whatever religion you practice, they pray for us. Our parents, I don't know where that mindset came from, but what we see now, like kids growing up now, like kids in their teens and their young ages, what we see now,
It's something else.
it's something else.
It's
But
actually crazy because, like, for example, in America, a kid can actually call the police on their parents.
they go beat you down.
So it's like you said, we can never match that level of parenting that our parents gave to us. Never. I don't think we'd come close to that.
Like when I was younger, I remember my mom, when it came to prayers, she would take us like I don't think there was any crusade I didn't go to growing up in Douala. I don't think there is anyone I did not go to.
Family
Big-
prayers.
Bro, family prayers. Because my mom usually, she had like all these crusade schedules. So like it's this week this one, this next week that one, next week that one. And I always thought to myself back then, I was like, nah, this is just too much church. It's like I have to go on Sunday. I have to make sure that I am early to church on Sunday. Make sure that I actually go to church on Sunday. Make sure that I actually
Yes.
listen to what they said in church.
Yes,
on
and then
Sunday.
you come back and tell them what
And
they
then
said
come back and then
in church.
tell them exactly. And not only that, she also took us to crusades.
Yeah.
And growing up, I was like, this is too much. But now is actually a friend of mine posted it the other day. He said growing up as a child, when our parents were taking us to all these crusades, we thought it was too much work, or we thought it was just too much going on. But now as an adult, you begin to see the kind of things that are happening in your life,
Yeah.
the kind of spiritual battles you fight in your life, and then you are in this prayer group, in that prayer group. Before you know it, you are praying at this time, at this time, at this
Yeah.
time, and before you even think of it, a huge part of your day is just really praying, literally repeating what your parents were doing for you a couple of years ago. So it's a testament to their way of having raised us up, which was right. A testament testament to the truth. Like many of the things that they used to tell us back then, you probably say, this one is like this, but now you are beginning to see the realities of
Yeah,
it.
they used to tell us when you grow up, you would understand.
You understand?
Yes, I can remember that talk, that sentence.
You understand?
I can remember that 100% because they used to say it. Don't worry, when you get old, you'll understand.
You understand?
They told me that, and I definitely understand. Trust me.
God bless our parents.
Yes.
They did so much for us.
Yes.
They did.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how we're going to replicate it. I don't see it happening. The morning devotions. I grew up to. I was born into morning devotions, and I grew into morning devotions. There was never. I'm telling you, till I left my mother's house, there was never a missed day. Monday to Sunday, morning devotions every day. We had this book. from Redeem that time. It's called Our Daily Manna.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I know that.
Yeah, I know that
I know
book
it.
too.
I know it.
Every day.
Yeah.
Read
It had this
every
thing.
day.
It had the daily readings in it. It had the reflection of the daily readings in it.
That's it.
I think it also
The
had,
Bible
also
verse.
has the Bible
Yeah.
verse.
And
too,
there's like a short
It's a short
story
The
or
sermon.
something.
Yeah.
Every day we read that. My mom made me and my sister read that every day. If I even started up, my dad was even way stricter.
Yeah, I
So
know.
like our parents, they did
Yeah,
so
they did.
much.
They
They
did
did
so
so
much. I
much,
think
yeah.
almost every African kid. I'm not gonna say all, because at the end of the day, there's always
Mhm,
gonna be a
yeah.
couple, but almost every African kid could probably relate to that part. Because yeah, even our
I think,
parents,
like-
we had like the autonomy to, you could worship whatever, you could go with it, whatever religion you wanted to go with,
Mhm.
but at the end of the day, you just have to make sure that you go to church.
Absolutely.
Go to church.
I remember.
Yeah, before we go to bed, we
Mhm.
prayed as a family.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you were Catholic, you were Presbyterian, you were Baptist, you were any other religion,
Mhm.
Pentecostal, doesn't matter.
And that's what put family together. Praying
Yes.
together as a family.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then
Maybe
you
when I went to my aunt's, because growing up, we would do prayers as kids. It wasn't really with our parents, because I grew up with my older cousins. Those people were way stricter. I mean, my parents literally just took us and then they were like, yeah, these are your siblings. We had to, like, you get up, you we you had to be up by 5 a.m. to clean the house, and then when you came back from school, that house needed to be clean,
again.
because if those elder cousins, they got home and the house wasn't clean, oh, trust me, it was a showcase. I remember one time, my one of my cousins, I was in Form 1 at the time, so I got back. She usually got back from school at like 5 p.m. I got back from school at like 3:30. Since I was in Form 1, I was in earlier class. So I get back from school, and so I'm just in there watching TV, and the living room was in a state of chaos, was in a state of mess. So she gets back from school at like 5, and then she sees the veranda. It's just sandy everywhere. Like slippers are just everywhere, shoes are just everywhere. Then she gets into the living room.
Yeah.
It's like pillowcases are everywhere. And then she sees me watching TV. She calls me, and I'm standing right there in the middle of the living room. She holds me by my ears. And then she lifts me up. I'll never forget.
That pain is unbearable.
Wow, and that was a
Yeah.
list of them. That was just the list of them. So I honestly just pray though. Honestly, just pray that we can match up. We can be able to instill those values, and then pass it down, or pass the torch down.
Yeah.
So as to keep, that culture moving, to keep it that family dynamics moving.
Yeah. All right. I mean, we're just gonna round it up real quick, and I don't know. You wanna say something? You got something?
I
Wanna wrap
think
it up,
it's been an exciting session. I definitely enjoyed having this conversation. It's a relaxant.
Yeah.
It's good to talk to familiar faces
I know.
and talk about these struggles. Turns out I'm not the only person going through all
Well,
this.
yeah, like we do relate to a lot of
So-
things.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I hope to come back again some other time.
Hopefully, yeah, we're definitely gonna work something out. But yeah, guys, pretty much that's it. Adulting is ghetto as fuck.
Yeah, to us. Sure.
Adulting is ghetto AF. But yeah, thank you guys once more for watching. We appreciate your support. Continue to like the videos, share it, subscribe, and hopefully we can continue to grow as a family, keep you guys entertained. And I always say, if you want a chance to maybe get featured on an episode, just reach out on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok. You might be lucky, and we have an episode. everyone is welcome. We're family. But also remember to follow our social media pages. Reality on Repeat _podcast. That's the same on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Yeah. So check it out, and also remember to share the videos. I'm gonna say that one more time, and subscribe, like as well. You got something to say, Dylan?
No.
All right, guys. This is the end of it, and thank you guys for being with us. Thank you for coming, Ola.
Thank you, my
Thank you,
guy.
Ola.
Thank you,
Alright.
appreciate it.
Okay, bye.